Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be making a stencil mosaic, and it looks really complicated, but in actual fact this is probably one of the easiest things that you could possibly do. It looks like you have been, art journaling for years and you could do this instantly basically. So I'm just using some thin washi tape. If you have some painter's tape that you want to cut up into strips, you could use that too. You just want something that's easily removable, particularly from if you're using a cotton rag journal like this one. Now again, you can make this mosaic into grid shapes really easily, or you can go mad like I did here and just have it every size and shape. I'm using my craft knife just to trim off any sort of little bits that have come over, because I want nice straight edges when I do this. And I am burnishing down a little bit so that I make sure that the paint's not going to go underneath. So when I did this to begin with, I'm just starting out with some cool colours. I'm just going around a sort of circular pattern, painting it down. So this is just to put some colour into the background, and I'm going to be stenciling over the top when I'm finished as well, so I will get some cool effects in the background. So it doesn't really matter what colour you're starting out with, you're just putting some stuff in the background, or a colour in the background. I decided originally that I was going to sort of do a little bit of ghosting. You can see there where I put a stencil down and rubbed it away with my wet wipe, but it wasn't giving me the effect that I really wanted. It was still, the colours I'd chosen were quite dark, so I wanted to put a little bit more punch of colour in it. So I've got this big stencil. This is one from Art by Marlene by the Crafters Workshop. I'm not sure if it's still available because I know she doesn't design for them anymore, but there's lots and lots and lots of amazing stencils from all sorts of companies. You just want one that's got lots happening on it. It can be as busy as you want. The only thing you need to be aware of is we're going to do some line work over the top of this. So if you don't want to be here for hours, choose something that's got fairly simple images to draw over the top of, just FYI. So once I've got my colour in the background, you'll notice I used warm colours on top. So I've used those yellows and pinks and oranges over the top. So they will contrast with those blues and greens, the cool colours in the background. I'm using my heat gun to help remove the tape. That is from years of experience of not being patient and just ripping it off and ripping off the paper as well. So if you do heat up your tape, even if it's painter's tape, it just helps remove it a little bit more easily. It loosens the adhesive on it so you can remove it from the page. So now I'm just going in with my black pen and just sharpening up the edges of my shapes. Now you could obviously, if you wanted to do this and you're a little unsure about your lines, do it while the washi tape is still in place and use that as almost a little ruler, and that will give you, some help to do that. If you have paint that's seeped under your washi tape or something like that, paint pens are your best friend, so just get a white paint pen and just paint over it, or a Tipex, or whiteout, whatever you call it in whichever country you come from. Really handy. So this can stop at any stage that you want. It looks really effective just as it is, but adding in this little bit of detail, drawing the white pen over the top, just finishes it off all that more. So I'm not being very particular about what I'm drawing around. I'm just loosely drawing around the shapes I can see, big and small. You'll sort of see in the close-up, it's not necessarily neat and tidy, it just is what it is. But by doing it, it really sort of highlights the difference between the background and the foreground. It also brings in a little bit of white again. You've got those really stark white lines from the washi tape, and by adding in the white of the stencil as well helps really pop that out from the beginning. So you can sort of see the difference between the areas that have the white line work on it and those that don't. Now, lots and lots of artists, have so many tips and tricks with stencils. Some now go in with colour pencils and add even more shading to these, and it looks amazing. I don't have the time and patience half the time to do this. I had a good movie going on in the background, so I was quite happy to sit here and just draw with my white pen, because I didn't have to think about it. I could just do this and listen to, or watch the movie at the same time. But as I said before, it's not necessary. It just gives another level to what you're doing. So once I'd done that, I decided, why not make it look messy again? You've spent all that time making it look neat. So I'm going in with some of the same colours I've used in the background. So I'm using gloss sprays, but any ink or even watered down acrylic paint, you could do the same. I'm just doing some splatters in the background. You can also prime up your Posca paint pens and sort of splatter that in the background as well. So I decided I want to put a focal image on this. To be honest, you could get away without it because it does look lovely on its own. But this is a collage image from the amazing Michelle Logan, who's an Australian artist, and she designs for Scrap FX. I think I've got the link to Scrap FX in my description box, so just check that out. She's got these beautiful women called, I think this one's called Daphne Dot, and it comes with a big Daphne Dot and some really cool funky words as well. So all I'm doing to her is just adding a little bit of extra line work, and then I'm adding a shadow with my Stabilo oil pencil around just to pop her out from the background, and you can see that sort of almost instantly from the background. Because the background is so busy, it's nice to be able to sort of just push that image out a little bit from the background. I'm doing that on both sides, just to make sure it works. And then again, I'm using colours from the background, so there's turquoise and pink, so you've got this repetition of colour happening across your page. Finally, I'm just gluing on a little quote, and these quotes come from the Daphne Dot page as well. So I really love this, just making it up as I go along, because but I really liked how it turned out. So I do like to, when I've got quotes like this, to cut them up into individual pieces or individual words. It just means I can choose where I put them on the page. If I had that still as one long quote, it wouldn't quite fit across my page properly, and it would have taken away from my girl. So by having it a little bit chunky, or cut up into chunks, I can sort of spread it down the page. I'm also going in and just adding a little bit more pink to her hair and a little bit of orange, and I'm using my Stabilo woodies, and again you can see how scratchy they are in the background. So that is my collage, my stenciled mosaic. And it's just such a handy technique as a background that you can use in any situation. It can be as complicated or as simple as you want, but it makes everything look really cool. So thank you so much for watching. I do hope you have a go at trying one of those backgrounds, and until next time, bye for now.